on. Look it. We're live. Woo!
Hello.
Happy
Hi, everybody.
Thursday.
Hello.
You guys, we have a special guest with us. You might notice we have Chip Moehle with us. Chip, say hi to the people.
Hi, people.
Chip is our crack entertainment expert. That's what I've named you, Chip. I have named you the entertainment expert. You're the E squared of the brother sisters.
I'll take it. I'll take it. It's like an honorary doctorate.
Yes, it is. Good.
Just like it.
Except more, I believe it's actually more valuable than a doctorate.
Well, so certainly to me, yes.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm just going to give a little background here. So Chip and Ann and I know each other from college.
Long ago.
Yes.
Many moons.
Yes. So
College.
we all went to the Eastern Michigan University. Now, when we all started, we were Hurons, but not anymore. Now we're Eagles.
Yep.
So I don't know.
Yeah, but I think when I
wish we would have been the emus. That would have been funny.
Oh, we miss I believe the university missed an opportunity there.
That's true. That's true. Although I think emus are kind of litigious, so it may not have worked out.
I didn't know that about emus. I've already learned so much.
Yeah, I did a little work with them in the Congo or wherever you moved with them.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I didn't think that it was Congo. You guys, Pam Cardell is with us. Pam Cardell Cato says,
Yay, Pam,
for those of you that don't know Pam, Pam works at she is a graduate of Eastern Michigan University, and she works at the Eastern Michigan University. So yeah, EMU indeed.
She is the EMU theater program.
She is. I know, like if you open a dictionary and look for EMU theater, there's Pam's face.
There it is.
There it is. So yes, it's true. So anyway, Chip is going to talk about an exciting series on Netflix. It is the series Hollywood. It is a limited series, which means there's only how many episodes?
7.
7 episodes. See, that's my kind of television. Now, how long are the episodes?
They're about an hour.
Okay, that's not bad. Yeah,
you know, it's Netflix, so sometimes they're a little more and sometimes they're a little less.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Very cool. Chip, would you like to give us an overview of Hollywood on Netflix? Sure.
It's interesting. It takes place in Hollywood right after World War II. So it's kind of a rewriting the history of Hollywood during that time. You know, it's to expect that maybe it's an expose of kind of the dirt of Hollywood. There's a little bit of that, but then it kind of goes off in another direction. And ultimately is kind of a fairy tale of what Hollywood could have been at that period of time.
Hmm. So what's good about the show?
A lot of good performances. Dylan McDermott, who's a Ryan Murphy standby in a lot of his projects, is like outstanding in this. He plays a gentleman who's based on a real live person who sort of ran an escort service out of a gas station. And managed escorts for both men and women of both sexes, and he's absolutely amazing in the part. It's like Emmy nominee worthy work.
Wow.
Jim Parsons from The Big Bang is in it, and he basically plays internalized homophobia. I mean, it's incredible to watch him. And then of course you've got the good standbys: Patti LuPone, who's always good, Holland Taylor, who's always good. Joe Mantello, who's a stage actor, is really good in this. I'm hoping it gets him more television work. And then a lot of good supporting people. Queen Latifah's in it as Hattie McDaniel, who I think maybe her birthday is today. Hattie McDaniel's birthday was today. I'm not sure.
Oh, cool.
So there's you know, it's sort of tinged with real life Hollywood people. Noel Coward is in it. Tallulah Bankhead is in it. So it's interesting how they sort of bring them in to ground it.
So, and I love the fact that they have, because like, you know, Patti LuPone is of course a legendary. So it's nice to see them have some big names. You know, I'd just say power hitters in there for sure.
Yes. Well, and she was in Ryan Murphy's the TV show Pose last season. So and she continues in this to play a powerhouse role. And
nice.
Is spoiler alert? Can I say that?
Do it. Spoil it.
So the show kind of starts out in one direction and then goes in another. And I think you. I'm sorry, I'm blanking for a minute. It starts off, you kind of feel like, oh, I don't know if I can watch this. The first couple episodes I had some difficulty with, and I thought this is just another show with really good-looking people having a lot of sex that probably will be their downfall. and I wasn't sure.
I see nothing wrong with that. Why is this a problem?
But I'm tired of this story, and I'm tired of this story, being related to Hollywood. I mean, it's true, it's happened. But and at the heart of this is the story of Peg Entwistle, the actress who went to Hollywood to make it big and was not accepted and committed suicide by jumping off the Hollywood sign.
Ooh.
And so her life is written as a movie that's going to be produced through the course of this television show. And but then around the third episode, it takes a right turn, and you begin to see justice, in a way that you wouldn't have back then. An African-American man writes the script. Patty LaPlone ends up running the studio. It kind of keeps going from there. And so you get this wonderful kind of retelling of the history of Hollywood.
And so that's I love that, because again, I'd not really heard of this show. Like I said, I watched the trailer because I wanted to know a little bit more, and I was immediately interested. Ooh, look, we have a comment. Christy Barkley, also an Eastern Michigan University alum, who I worked with when I was teaching high school in Constantine, Michigan. Christy said she also wondered those first 2 episodes, and then she got totally sucked in. So
totally with you, Christy. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right. So again, I got more questions. So again, you've mentioned some of the people. You mentioned, I think, pretty much all the people that you would that you might recognize in this, which is awesome, because I love that, because it's a nice mix of those that you might know and maybe new up and comers that you would not know. So as far as the less familiar faces, who can you tell us about that we might have seen them in?
There's kind of like 4 or 5. The main people are all actors that I've not seen in things before, but they all play the lead roles. There's one young actress, African-American, who plays kind of the lead. She ends up playing the role of Peg Entwistle, although they change it to Meg. And I think she was in Murphy's, I think she was in American Horror Story Apocalypse, kind of at the very beginning and the very end.
Which is also a Ryan Murphy show.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And then the young man, I refer to him as Matt Bomer Light. Because we look very much like him, but it's not him. I'll be honest, the young leads are not the best thing about the show. It's the supporting cast that really is marvelous. I'm trying to think who else. Darren Criss is in it. You know him from all the other Ryan Murphy things. He was on Glee and stuff. But there's a young man that plays Rock Hudson. And then there's a young man who plays the African-American screenwriter, and he's marvelous. And I'm sorry, I don't know his name. But again, it's really the supporting cast that really kind of carries this thing through.
That's awesome. Well, and again, it's sometimes I think that your leads are there just to kind of look pretty and keep us all our eyes all entertained.
Yes, and they're very pretty.
Well, I will say the ugly actors of the world are the ones that are really good at what they're doing. So nothing personal. That's why they're from the stage and not the screen.
Yeah.
Hey, Pam Cardell says it's like an alternate universe, a Hollywood universe. So
exactly. Have you seen the Quentin Tarantino Once Upon a Time in Hollywood?
Yes, I did. Same sort of deal.
Similar, retelling of events that ends on a more positive note.
Which I like. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
Kind of like Inglourious Bastards. Same sort of thing.
Yeah, that I need to see.
You've not seen that?
I have not seen. I'm always leery of Tarantino because of the violence.
And this is extraordinarily violent, as it always is.
It is violent. But it's mostly violent against Nazis, and it's okay to be mean to Nazis.
Okay. Yeah, and that's kind of how I felt with Once Upon a Time in America, was that, I was kind of like, okay, I can kind of handle this violence because of who's
the violence. Yeah.
Right.
But but it sort of, it allows for gay people to be out. I'm sorry, I'm going back to Hollywood. It allows for gay people to be out. It allows for women to be in charge. It allows for Black Americans to be, the leads and to be allowed in to the actual, like, Hattie McDaniel was not allowed to attend the Academy Awards where she won the Academy Award because she was Black. Sure. And so this kind of allows for all these things that were not allowed to happen back in Hollywood because of the morality code, because of the time, to happen. And, I think ultimately when it ended, I felt like if I had seen this as a young person, this would have given me hope in terms of maybe I can go to Hollywood and maybe there can be a difference and maybe there can be some change. And isn't it nice to kind of see this fairy tale? Because who doesn't like a good fairy tale?
Indeed. All right. So speaking of fairy tales, Pam wants to know, I've got the question on the screen here. If each of you had to play someone in old Hollywood, who would you be? Chip, we'll start with you.
Montgomery Clift.
Good one.
Yeah.
Stoic. Awesome. Yeah. Just awesome. And yes.
I don't know. That's a good question. I've never really, who'd be a good person to ask. I haven't asked Duncan that question. I've never been much for old Hollywood. So I'm not. Oh, who I would be is Ethel Merman. I would be Ethel Merman, and I know she's more stage than anything. But damn, some of the movies that I did see when I was younger always had Ethel Merman in them, and damn, that woman! There should be another Ethel Merman for us. So yeah, Ethel Merman. I don't have any of her qualities other than I'm a big mouth, but damn, she conquered. Whatever she was doing, it was conquered.
Yep.
So
through that, Lucille Ball, all the way.
Oh yeah.
Oh
yeah. All the way.
Yes.
Well, and I also Rosalind Russell. I think I would love to play Mame. I would love to play Auntie Mame, just because you watch Rosalind Russell in that film, and you watch her in The Women, and you watch her in His Girl Friday, and it's just like she has such a presence, and she's so fierce. It's like yes.
Mm-hmm.
That is awesome, Pam. That's an excellent question. Thank you.
Very good question, Pam.
All right, so Chip, in talking about Hollywood, what is some things that maybe you did not like about the show?
There's a couple relationships that don't quite work. There's a gentleman in the beginning of the film who ends up sleeping with one woman, and then at the end he is with that woman's daughter. It's a little, but the rest of it's a fairy tale, so you kind of go along. You're kind of like, didn't this happen in Shakespeare? Yeah, maybe this works.
I thought everything happened in Shakespeare.
Right? Really, it is the touchstone.
Yes.
I like I said, the first two episodes were kind of not great for me because they, like I said, they seem to be leading you down a path of this is all going to be misery, and you still have 5 episodes of this to live through. Like I said, I was really glad once it hit that 3rd episode and started to make a change. Also, again, the sort of lightweight performances of the leads could have been a little stronger, but overall, I have a number of friends who really did not like it. They didn't like the retelling. They thought that for one reason or another upset them. And for that, I will say there is another show on television called Penny Dreadful City of Angels, which tells the city of Los Angeles with a supernatural component to it in the 30s. So if you didn't like Hollywood, go find Penny Dreadful City of Angels.
Well, and if you're joining us late, we're talking about Netflix, the Netflix show Hollywood, and if there's any takeaway I'm taking away so far, it's make sure you watch past the 2nd episode because that's the turning point.
Yes.
All right, and that's good intel right there because sometimes I'll watch a show like Joe and I were watching Space Force the other day, and we gave up. We were both done 3/4 of the way through the 1st episode, and then all the way done when it ended. We're like, thank God this episode finally ended, and we're not going back. Michaela, hi. This is one of my former students. Hi, Michaela. How are you?
Michaela.
Right. Good to hear from you. Hopefully you're watching TV, and if you are, watch Hollywood on Netflix because Chip said so. So.
How old are you, Michaela?
Michaela's old enough. She's already graduated from high school. She's good.
Good. Then feel free to watch it.
Whew, yay. So, all right. So if I were gonna Penny Dreadful, I have rolled by that series on several occasions. So That's
Well,
also
this is like it's kind of become an anthology now. This one has nothing to do with the original series. Penny Dreadful apparently is a term for a style of book, like romance novel or pulp fiction. Penny Dreadful is a kind of supernatural book.
got it.
So that's I guess the first series had a lot of those like Frankenstein and characters from horror that were woven through it, whereas this one has nothing to do with that, but does have a supernatural component to it.
All right.
I was gonna say, Duncan and I watched the first 2 seasons of Penny Dreadful. The first season was awesome, really interesting. Did we watch 2 or 3? Maybe we watched the first 3 seasons. The second season I wasn't as fond about, so I didn't go back to it, but I was interested in the reboot that they had done because they talked about some of the performances and the ideas behind it sounded really, really interesting. So that was one I wanted to go back and see that next season.
Yeah.
Excellent.
But I mean, if you want, like I said, the first season of Penny Dreadful, I mean, it's scary. The costuming is beautiful, and it's kind of this costume drama anyway, and then it's got the supernatural and horror aspect of it. So the first season is really worth watching. So.
Okay. Yeah, I think I just added it to my queue. I thought, if I like this little bit, I'm in hearing who the characters were for that, I thought that would be interesting to me. So
yeah,
nice.
It is. It's if nothing else, it's really quite beautiful. It's very the cinematography, and it's really beautiful. So if nothing else,
Cool.
Right.
All right, so let's close out our talk on Hollywood. So, Chip, if you were to describe or say one sentence about the show Hollywood, what might you say?
Oh, good question. Well, honestly, I just have to keep going back to fairy tale. Fairy tale. Who doesn't like a good fairy tale? Feel good. Yeah, I felt good.
And it gives us an idea of when you let, sometimes when you hear a story, like I go back sometimes to the book Hidden Figures, if you would let everybody into the room, you could get much more done sooner and better. And it's a Hollywood where they let everybody into the room sooner. And so it becomes a better place, a more interesting, dynamic, creative place when you do that. And maybe if we could learn that lesson.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's, and I think it's, you keep saying fairy tale, but it's got a little lesson in there too. Look what happens when we let everybody in.
Yes, absolutely. Ultimately, that's the thing. In seeing these characters win at the end, you realize that perhaps a place like this gas station where, people have to go secretly for what they desire doesn't need to exist anymore, that people can live out loud and be who they are.
So, yeah, I'm going to give it a try.
I'm having internet.
We lost Jenny.
There she is.
Am I back? Yeah. And one of the things I like about the idea of it being a fairy tale is that that's kind of what Hollywood does anyway. So why not have a fairy tale about the fairy tale place?
When I think that's my friends who did not enjoy the show, I thought, honestly, it's a Hollywood movie. It's going to have a Hollywood ending.
Right. What's wrong with that?
The story that they film, they do the story of Peg Entwistle, but they change her name to Meg and they make her African-American. And at the very end, she's about to jump off the Hollywood sign and then she doesn't. And she comes down and makes that change in her attitude. And, you make that change in your attitude about Hollywood. So
that's cool. Yeah, I like that. I like it. It sounds like I said, I'm looking forward to watching it. So
me too.
Yeah, let me know what you think.
Yeah. Hey, you guys, if you have any questions for Chip, we got a few people that are watching. Now's the time. Like I said, Chip is our official entertainment expert of the Brothers Sisters.
I had to laugh the other day
that says that.
Because I should. I might get a little hat or something, or maybe some hair. I was watching the other day, and Jenny, your question to Anne was, "What is the best season?" And I immediately went, "Which TV show?" And then I was like, "Oh, she's talking about seasons like autumn and fall," but it was just like, in my head is. I'm like, season 1 was great.
TV seasons. See, and that Chip is why you are our official entertainment guy, because you are thinking your mind is where we need it to be.
Yes.
Tracy Larson wants.
That's why I said we need to have Chip on this to talk about theater and
I
TV
agree.
and movies.
I agree. Tracy Larson agrees that Hollywood was really good. I work with Tracy. She is a fellow teacher. She teaches math. She's a math teacher and who has excellent taste in entertainment.
Right
and
on,
she also
Tracy.
makes the greatest dessert ever. So Tracy, love you, woman. Yes.
Ooh.
Tim, hey, dude, what's up, Tim? Redlinger.
Redlinger.
Yes. Long time no see. Another cast member, yet another cast member, as was Chip from the EMU production of Excuse Me While I Adjust My Bra Strap. Tim was there, Chip was there, Ann was there, I was there. Dude, it's like we're doing this reunion one person at a time.
That's one of the little notes I made was when you were talking with Eric Block the other day. And I was like, oh my God, the whole Nutcracker Suite dance. I mean, recently some of those pictures have come to light. And so it's kind of fun to see myself dressed as a dancing penis.
Yes. Because you were the actual penis, weren't you?
I was.
Yes, okay.
And I've gone to a couple of EMU shows in the last year, and I've been introduced to people as, oh, Chip was in Bra Strap. He was one of the dancing penises. And they'll say, oh, which one were you? And I'm always like, the one on the left. It's just, but it's funny that is like such a part of EMU lore that people still know about that.
It is legendary.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah. It was fun. It was.
You should say I was the good-looking one.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I was the big one.
The real penis. Scott Screws is with us. He said Chip should just be included in everything, especially the penis. I got no problem with that.
Oh my God, Scott knows me.
Yes, true. Oh my Lord. So, well, Chip, I want to thank you very much. I don't know, unless you guys want, we can keep talking. We've been on for 22 minutes. We can keep talking. We can wrap it up. Like I said, folks, if you have any questions, now is the time for our expert entertainment reporter, Chip Moehle.
We will have Chip back, so if you don't have anything to ask, he will be back. Talk about more theater, film, and or TV.
So Chip, we're going to need you to get on. We discussed earlier. Should we tell them what we're reviewing tomorrow, Ann? Because we
definitely should, because some people might want to watch it so they can join in on the conversation.
Yeah, so tomorrow we will be live at 5 Central, 6 Eastern. We are combining, just for the purposes of summertime, we're combining our Friday Afternoon Club happy hour right along with our movie review. So tomorrow we will be happy houring / Friday Afternoon Club with the Cuba Libre, which is a fancy way of saying rum and coke. And we will be reviewing the movie The Velocipaster. Yeah. You heard me right. I didn't say Velociraptor. I said Velocipaster. Yes, it is a harrowing story of a priest who turns into a dinosaur at night to right the wrongs of the world.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
Exactly. Jesus had a lot to do with this.
Yes. So anyway, that's the movie. So if you have a Prime account, it can be found on Amazon Prime. I don't know what to tell you other than buckle up. Buckle up. So there you go. So Chip, you should absolutely get on that, and then you should absolutely give us your thoughts and your feedback. Pam has wanted to see that. Well, I got to tell you, Pam, now's the time. Now, Pam, since we have you on, wasn't Pam in a movie production like with a giant mosquito?
Skeeter.
This is like that. Pam, you have to watch this. You will relate to this because it's kind of like the mosquito movie.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all I'm going to say about that. But Pam, you absolutely have to watch this.
Yeah, it's important. Velocipaster on Prime.
It's not
Who
very
doesn't have
long.
an hour and 10 minutes to kill?
Yeah, it's only an hour and 10 minutes. And once you start, you won't be able to stop because you'll be like, oh Lord, what next? And then it will happen. You're like, oh, what next?
Yeah, and you know what? Watch the trailer first because it will definitely seal the deal.
So yes, Pam says they wouldn't cast me because I made fun of the bug. That's right. I knew it was something like
I
that.
remember her saying that they brought the wheelbarrow out with the big bug in it, and she started laughing or something like that.
I cut.
All right.
Thanks for coming in. Bye.
No. Are you making fun of our creative genius?
It's a large mosquito.
Yes, the good news about Velocipaster, it does not appear like anybody is worried about being thought of as a creative genius. That's just one of my takeaways. But I don't want to give it all away now. I can't give it all away now. So
spoiler alert.
So many spoilers. All right. So anyway, wait. Let me see.
Let me just say thank you again, you guys.
Yes. Michaela wants to know that she loved the one about the bats. So good job, Ann Brothers.
Oh, hey. Thank you.
Right on. So
Yay!
Yay! Thank you, Michaela. We appreciate your feedback, and there will be more Ann-splaining with Ann coming up. Ann-splaining.
Someday I'm going to explain to you about how men see only, we'll talk about that one later.
Please tell me more.
I love it. I love it. So, all right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us today. Chip, cannot thank you enough, and I'm looking forward to hanging with you again.
Thank you,
we will be back tomorrow, live 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern. Yeah, all this different time zones. So, Ann and Chip, don't hang up. I'm going to take you guys out of the stream, and then we'll still be able to talk when we're no longer live. Okay.
Right on.
But
Bye,
you guys,
everybody.
thank you so much. We'll see you tomorrow. Again, we're drinking Cuba Libres tomorrow, which is rum and coke with a lime, and we will be reviewing the Velocipaster. All right, guys, be good, be safe, make excellent choices. We're out.
Bye.